Secretary June Danagogo, the civil servants reject what they describe as an imposed leadership. They say they do not recognize the October State Delegate Congress, which they claim produced Samuel Organ and others from the private sector as representatives of Rivers State civil servants. The association is urging Governor Siminalayi Fubara and heads of ministries, departments, and agencies not to engage with the organ-led leadership on issues affecting public servants in the state.
The meeting deliberated extensively on very emotional issues in Rivers State and resolved as follows. One, unequivocally affirm and uphold the 30th October 2025 State Delegate Conference of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, where Comrade Dr. Josiah was elected the state chairman along with other state administrative council members. The meeting dissociated the entire senior civil servants in Rivers State from the purported SDC that imposed Comrade Samuel Organ and his other private sector colleagues to represent the interests of Rivers State civil servants before the state government.
Well, they also demand that the organ-led group vacate the TUC secretariat in Port Harcourt, insisting that all negotiations and engagement with the state government should be conducted only through the Dr. Josiah-led executive.
Members of the Association of Senior Civil Servants in Nigeria constitute the engine room of Rivers State government that sees to implementation of government policies, and accordingly, the Association of Senior Civil Servants in Nigeria cannot and will not be undermined by any individual or group of persons emerging from private sector who lack understanding of the structure, tradition, and operational reality of the public service. The meeting further notes that Comrade Samuel Organ is from the private sector and is therefore advised to confine his engagement to his sector of affiliation and disease from interfering in civil service and public sector labor affairs.
Reacting to this, Samuel Organ is urging members of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria to take steps to withdraw from the Trade Union Congress in Rivers State. He is also challenging them to present evidence that the national executive of the TUC participated in the election that produced Udoka Josiah as chairman. Now to security matters, a security analyst, Dr. Ifechukwu, wants security agencies, especially the police, to look beyond prima facie evidence when investigating cases, particularly those involving death. He made the call while speaking with correspondent Emekotoka following the death of 6 members of a family on Sunday in Aleto, Eleme local government area. The police had earlier said preliminary findings suggest generator fumes may have caused the death. Dr. Wanogo warns that many criminals escape justice because investigations often rely on evidence that only appears sufficient and can easily be manipulated. It says the mere presence of a generator in an apartment is not enough proof that it caused the death.
We are usually in a haste in this part of the world to arrive at conclusions. The presence of generator in that particular apartment is not enough evidence that that was the cause death. Do you understand? It could actually be placed there on a second thought or in order to also deceive the investigating officers. So clearly, a thorough and forensic investigation would have to have been conducted. Apart from the autopsy, which of course should be part of the process, we should determine that A may have died from a separate incident.
He adds that determining the true cause of death requires a proper autopsy alongside a thorough review of other factors, including recent visitors and last phone conversations before conclusions are drawn.
It's expected that other factors will have to be taken into account. The generator, of course, will be taken into evidence, and then other factors that are possible cause of death must be taken into account. A proper investigation as to the visitors to that particular household, phone call logs, who were the last people to have been there, cause either coming in or going out, and also a proper autopsy to determine the cause of death.
Still on security, the United States has delivered military supplies to Nigerian security agencies to support ongoing operations across the country. The United States Africa Command announced the delivery in a post on X on Tuesday. The federal government had earlier disclosed that the U.S. is prepared to deepen security operation with Nigeria through increased intelligence sharing, defense equipment, and other resources to combat terrorism and violent extremism. Still to come, we tell you how excited the Rivers State government is after a donation of ambulances to the state government by Hyprem. Details coming up shortly. You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. River State Commissioner for Health, Adesa Ore, is full of praise for the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project after it received over 5 ambulances donated by HYPREP. The handover took place at the Nchia General Hospital in Eleme. Dr. Ore says the donation reflects its commitment to building resilient health systems beyond just equipping facilities. The commissioner assured of continued collaboration between the state government and HYPREP, noting that the partnership will strengthen public health initiatives in Ogoni communities and across River State.
HYPREP's focus on supporting the health sector goes beyond equipping and furnishing of health facilities to building responsive and resilient systems through effective and efficient transfers that build our referral pathways and ensure the transfer of patients from places where they are to where they can receive the specialized medical care that is available. Thank you, HYPREP.
Earlier, the HYPREP project coordinator, Professor Neni Barini Zabi, took the Commissioner for Health on a tour of the Buan Cottage Hospital currently under construction by the project. Dr. Ore expressed satisfaction with HYPREP's commitment to improving healthcare delivery, saying the facility will help save lives, particularly among vulnerable populations, and improve the well-being of residents.
From the River State Ministry of Health, we're very pleased to have been taken on this tour. We've gone around the 43-bed facility and ongoing project, seen ample spaces that will be catering to pregnant women, nursing mothers, young children, the elderly, right here in Ogoni land. And it is very reassuring to see this level of thought and interventions in the healthcare space. HYPREP has demonstrated commitment towards strengthening healthcare delivery in Ogoni land, and the River State Ministry of Health is glad to be part of that process.
Well, on his part, the HYPREP coordinator, Professor Neni Barini Zabi, outlined other ongoing health projects across Ogoni land.
This is a modern cottage hospital. It is energy efficient, it is spacious, it has all that is necessary to support the healthcare of the Ogoni people and the general public. Of course, we are not only building this hospital, we are building the Ogoni Specialist Hospital that will provide tertiary health support. And we are also carrying out cutting-edge research in partnership with the International Agency for Research on Cancer of the World Health Organization. And at the same time, we are strengthening other hospitals in Ogoni.
Moving on to Eche local government area and away from politics, the chairman, Chima Boniface Njoko, says he is satisfied with the quality and pace of work on the new chairman's office and lodge block at Okehi within the council secretariat. The project, executed through direct labor in the second week of December 2025, has now reached the decking stage. Njoko made the remarks during an unscheduled inspection of ongoing projects at the Secretariat, where he commended the civil engineering team for what he describes as heartwarming progress and workmanship. He says the project is expected to be completed by March 2026 and will comprise the chairman's office on the first floor, offices for aides, and a 4-bedroom apartment to serve as the official lodge. The facility will also be equipped with a solar-powered electricity system to guarantee uninterrupted power supply. The Eche Council Board, who was accompanied by the leader of the Eche 10th Legislative Council, Marshal Wangwo, also inspected the pharmacy section of the council shopping complex, the restaurant, as well as the core members' lodge and security building. In Ikwere local government area, the chairman, Charles Wobodo, is inviting stakeholders and members of the Renewed Hope family in the area to an official endorsement event for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second term. In a statement, Wobodo says the program will take place on Wednesday, the 14th at St. Martin's Anglican Church, Omagwa, starting at 10 a.m. He adds that the event will also feature the flag off of the All Progressive Congress e-registration exercise across the 13 wards of Ikwere local government area. The chairman is urging residents of Ikwere and members of the public to turn out in large numbers for the event. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria is deploying a new carbon market to generate between $2.5 and $3 billion annually over the next 10 years to tackle climate change. Speaking at the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week on Tuesday, the president says the country has put in place frameworks to monitor and reduce carbon emissions, including the National Carbon Market Activation Policy and the National Carbon Registry. It also points to the 2023 Electricity Act, which he says is helping extend electricity to rural communities, schools, health centers, and markets that lack adequate power. Tinubu adds that the government is modernizing Nigeria's energy system to deliver sustainable electricity nationwide. Well, in a related development, Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates have signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement to boost trade, strengthen investment, and expand market access for exporters. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, says the agreement was signed in Abu Dhabi and will see the UAE remove tariffs on more than 7,000 Nigerian products, including agricultural and industrial goods. She adds that the deal will also allow Nigerian businesses to establish operations in the UAE while easing travel and relocation rules for business visitors, managers, and specialists. Oduwole says the agreement is expected to drive industrialization, create jobs, and position Nigeria as a gateway for investment into Africa. And now in business, the equities market recorded a historic gain of 1.662 trillion naira at the close of trading on Tuesday, extending its bullish run to a 22nd consecutive session. Market capitalization rose by 1.59% to 106.182 trillion naira, while the all-share index also gained 1.59% to close at 165,837.33, pushing the year-to-date return to 6.57%. Market breadth closed positive with 56 gainers against 14 losers as MTN Nigeria, PZ Cousins, and eTransact International topped the gainers chart. A total of 1.131 billion shares valued at 33.5 billion naira were traded, with Sovereign Trust Insurance recording the highest volume. We'll go on a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the news. Being killed in Iran following a violent crackdown by security forces on nationwide protests, according to human rights groups. The US-based human rights activist news agency says it has confirmed over 1,800 protesters' deaths in the last 17 days, while an Iranian official also told Reuters the toll is around 2,000, blaming what he called terrorists. US President Donald Trump says help is on the way for Iranians, warning that authorities will pay a heavy price once accurate figures are confirmed. Now in sports, Super Eagles coach Eric Chelle says there is no cause for concern over the absence of Captain Wilfred Ndidi as Nigeria face Morocco in the AFCON semi-final in Rabat. Ndidi is suspended after picking up his second yellow card of the tournament and was also substituted in the quarterfinal against Algeria with a hamstring injury. Chelle admits he will miss the midfielder, but insists the squad has quality options ready to step in. Ndidi has anchored Nigeria's midfield throughout the competition, with players like Rafael Onyedika and Frank Onyeka available as replacements. Both Nigeria and Morocco head into the clash unbeaten, with the encounter marking their first AFCON meeting in 22 years. Well, that's the news, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. We told you how a former IPAC chairman, Peter Ame, called APC's support for Governor Simlai Fubara artificial. You also heard a former Ekiti State Governor, Ayopashe, questioning Fubara's leadership in the APC. And we reported that the Rivers State government has commended Hyprep for donating over 5 ambulances to the state. And we told you that Nigeria has signed an agreement with UAE to boost trade. Well, the news was edited by Ufoma Ebamuno. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.